All right, the other intro video that I want to make is just a quick rundown of MyMathLab. So we're going to access MyMathLab through our course website. So to get to our course website from Laramie County Community College homepage, we're going to click My LCCC, log in with your email address and your password, click on Canvas, and now you're in the learning management system. We click on our class, Math 1100. All right, there's a variety of ways to get to MyMathLab. You can get to MyMathLab from here, MyMathLab and Mastering. From here, MyMathLab. Or you can access individual assignments by going to the Assignments tab. So for example, if I click on Assignments, and I look at my MyMathLab assignments, if I click on that first assignment, MyMathLab and Orientation, there's the questions right there. Now, if I click on one, I can answer the questions right in here, okay? So it's saying, oh, welcome to MyMathLab, this is an orientation, I can continue. I can click here to see an overview of the homework questions that I have left. I can skip around, I don't have to do these in order. So I can go to different questions, okay? When I'm done, I am gonna save because that makes sure that any of the work that I've done, I have saved. You can go in and out of MyMathLab as many times as you want up until the due date. Okay, so that's accessing MyMathLab through assignments, okay? Now, the first time you access MyMathLab, you're going to have to connect your Canvas and MyMathLab accounts. And it's really easy to do that. You're going to click on MyMathLab, okay? And you can kind of click anywhere, and it's going to say, oh, you haven't connected the accounts. So I'm going to walk you through as far as I can with this. So first, you have to accept the username agreement, the end user agreement, excuse me, okay? And then you are going to have to enter some information into MyMathLab. Now, I can't really do this on my end because, well, I'm not an actual student. However, I did go through and create a document that shows you how to do this. So if you go to syllabus, and not in syllabus, just kidding. If you go to our first week, so week 1, okay, and you click on Accessing MyMathLab through Canvas Illustrated Guide, well, here's a little document that walks you right through what to do. So click on MyMathLab, click on Accept the End User Agreement, okay? And then you're going to need to either sign in with your MyMathLab account if you've already used MyMathLab before. If you haven't, you're going to create an account, that's fine. If you had one at one point and you've forgotten what your login is, don't worry, you can retrieve all that right from here, okay? Once you've done that, you're going to register for the class. You need an access code. That's part of the required purchases for this class. So if you purchase your access code through the bookstore, you're going to input your access code right here. You can also purchase an access code online. If you, for some reason, haven't had a chance to purchase your access code, you're waiting for your financial aid to go through, something like that, you can get a temporary code until you can get your MyMathLab access. Notice that this doesn't give you access for free, it just gives you kind of a delayed payment method. So you can access for 2 weeks before you actually have to input that paid code. Once you do that, you're going to go to your course, and you should be right there at the MyMathLab course. So I'm going to exit out of the student view. And I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like once you've got MyMathLab and Canvas synced, okay? So you'll have the student link option. Now, you can do all of your assignments right through MyMathLab just by clicking on assignments or within that week to week clicking on the little MyMathLab link. But it's sometimes really handy to actually go into the MyMathLab course home. There are some nice resources available through MyMathLab, one of which is your textbook, which is required reading. So if you click on e-text over here in the left-hand side, and then you have to click again, which is kind of silly, it's going to pull up your entire textbook. So our whole textbook will be inside of here. Internet is being a little slow today, which I know can be frustrating. But here is our textbook, okay? Now you can click through just by clicking the forward page button. That can get a little tedious. So if you click on the little hamburger symbol here, notice that we have a table of contents, okay? All right, so say I want to look at chapter 1, which is where we'll be starting, in section 1.1. Clicking there takes me right to that section of the textbook. Now, the textbook sections are required reading for this class, so starting next week, you're going to have to be reading within the textbook. Now, you can do that on a hard copy if you purchased a hard copy, but you don't have to purchase a hard copy. You can do all of your reading online if you so choose, okay? All right. Other things, if we go back to MyMathLab, again, I'm going to look at this left-hand side. I can access my assignments through here as well. Okay, so here's all of our MyMathLab assignments. I can do the MyMathLab assignments in here just the same as I can do them in Canvas. Doesn't really matter. Some people like to do them actually in MyMathLab just because you have a bigger screen. So you have a little bit bigger screen to play around with rather than doing it within a little screen inside of Canvas. Either way, the grades will be transmitted automatically into our grade book. All right, other things that are useful are these chapter contents, okay? So for example, in chapter 1, well, say I want to look at different things in chapter 1. So I want to look at section 1.1, okay? So the e-text is there, great. There's also some other cool things here. You can do practice exercises, you can look at problems, you can look at from the field, which is some interesting stuff actually from practicing teachers. So you may want to look at that. If we take a minute. So this is like a little vignette that talks about something that actually happened in a classroom, and that can be really, really handy to look at. The other things that can be really useful are the class activities. So sometimes we'll look at class activities, and that can be pretty handy. So again, all those things can be accessed through chapter contents as well as through your e-textbook. The other thing that I want to talk about is this multimedia library. So the multimedia library is pretty cool. And in your course scavenger hunt for week 1, you're going to have to access some of this. So if I look at chapter 1, okay, and I'm going to say, hey, select everything. Let's look at all the options for chapter 1. Now, what all do we have? Well, we have textbook sections, but we also have videos. So we have videos. This one is about place value, so we can look about place value. We have IMAP videos. IMAP was a big project where they went into elementary schools and actually recorded students, elementary students, working on different math problems to talk about kind of what do students see when they do these problems? What are they thinking? What are some of the ways that they can go wrong? We'll be using IMAP for this class. Okay. Other things, I want to look at a different one. So let's look at addition and subtraction. So I'm going to go to chapter 3 again. I'm selecting all, and I'm going to look and see what we have. The other thing that I really like is we have e-manipulatives. So e-manipulatives are really great. We're going to be using manipulatives in this class. You had to purchase that little manipulative kit. So you're going to be using physical manipulatives, but you're also going to be using the e-manipulatives. So for example, here, we have a number line. It's going to talk to us.
Such as 2 plus 1 plus -3 using a number line.
So this is going to be a way that we can actually practice some of the things that we're doing in class using digital or virtual manipulatives, as well as kind of our hand-drawn manipulatives or our physical manipulatives that you had to purchase. So that's pretty cool. So you may want to take a look at these different things. I really like things like the adding blocks are really cool. I'm going to skip the intro right now. But we can look at, if I draw 84 and 147, right, which is what we have here. Notice there's 140, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4. How much do we have all together? So this is addition using the base 10 blocks. We're going to be doing that in class. So those virtual manipulatives are pretty awesome. And as we go through this class, you'll see that I'm a huge fan of manipulatives, hands-on activities. So you're going to get to play around with these things pretty regularly. So please make sure that you're using those resources. It's really, really handy. So yeah, that's kind of an intro to MyMathLab. If you have any trouble at all, please make sure that you email me. I am not done, just kidding. I want to go back into assignments, and I'm going to click on one that's not the orientation, but one that's an actual assignment. Okay, oh, that's a long one for you. Okay, so a couple of things. If you're not totally sure like what to do with this question, one, remember that you shouldn't start with a MyMathLab homework. You should start by doing the reading and looking at the resources, reading the textbook, etc. Say you've done all that, you come to this question and you're like, I don't know what to do. Well, maybe you click on this little question help. So there's a couple of different things. One, we've got help me solve this, okay? Help me solve this is going to kind of give you some hints so you can read through these things, answer some questions. It's going to help you solve the problem. You can view an example. So it's going to show you something that's similar to what you had before, but not quite the same, and it's going to walk you through how that would be solved. You can go directly to the textbook section that deals with this problem, and if none of those things help, you can ask me directly. Notice that this goes straight to my email. The one thing I do ask is that you actually put something in this box. If you just send this to me, I don't know if you did it on accident. I don't know if your problem was that for some reason it wasn't loading. It really helps me if you're like, I am not sure how to start. I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. 6 squares, and 4 of them are colored. I don't know how that translates to a fraction or something like that. Just give me some indication of what your trouble is. That's going to make it a lot easier for me to email you back with some help. Now, as part of your intro scavenger hunt, you're going to get to email me through MyMathLab just to make sure that you can do that. So just be aware that's kind of how you do it. All right, now I think I'm done. Thanks for bearing with me. Yeah, I hope that you're getting going and getting started, and I'm looking forward to continuing on the class with you.